What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Pony Lawson, and I like to talk about your tattoos. Today we're going to be critiquing apprentice tattoos, and these are always fun because I feel like apprentices usually get the most out of these. Even apprentices at home, hopefully there's a tip or trick that you can pick up and apply to your daily workflow. So without further ado, let's get started. The first tattoo is sent in from Ashleigh Shepherd out of Australia. Ashleigh, you mentioned you've been tattooing for 6 months and you'd like some input on your micro-realism pieces. I think I can handle that. The first one you sent in is this little black and gray sparrow, and right off the bat, this thing is beautiful. I think you hit a lot of right marks in this piece. You put outlines where they belong and left other areas open, allowing room to breathe. I also like how you didn't use outlines on the back of the wing, just making it feel more soft. I think the reference you chose on this piece in particular is really nice because of the perspective of the bird, and it really makes this thing look like it's flying. You've got some really nice shading in the wings, and I know when that thing heals, it's going to feel even softer, just allowing those wings to look even more realistic. I would like to see what that wing and tail looks like without those white highlights in there, as I don't really think they're that necessary. I think the white in the eye is okay, of course, because it would be reflective or wet, and I think leaving the white out in those other areas would make that eye pop even more. My eyes do get drawn to those little baby feet, and maybe that is what it looked like in the reference, but they kind of just come off as either a rat or gopher toes. Now, I'm no expert in bird feet, so I don't know exactly what they look like, but for some reason my eyes do get drawn to those toes. There's just something about it that just throws me off. But other than that, I do think that this is a very solid tattoo. Let's see what else you sent in. All right, now this scorpion I do feel like could use a little bit of help. It does seem like it's lacking a lot of black, especially because emperor scorpions are all mostly black. Now don't get me wrong, I do think artistically this thing is great, but I do think it's lacking that little bit of punch. And if you had those solid blacks, it would just make those white highlights appear that much more shiny, because right now those whites aren't really helping at all. One thing that I do like about this is the attention to the shadow that you put in here. It really helps sell that realism. And again, I do think you chose the right reference here, because this thing does look like it's popping off the leg a bit. But I do think it would be worth a second pass just to go in there and kind of darken everything up a bit. You did mention that this was 2 months into tattooing and the bird was 5 months into tattooing. So to me, it seems like you're already ahead of schedule and you're already starting to apply that knowledge of using those darker tones to your advantage. So overall, I do feel like that these things are on point, Ashleigh, and I thank you so much for sending those over. All right, the next one up is sent in from Ines out of Portugal, and Ines, you've mentioned you've been tattooing for about a month and a half now. You sent in this cute little frog that seems to be daydreaming about a pizza pie.
It also is like angry about it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Pizza again?
Mom, we just had this on Friday. Just something different, please. I do like this design, and I think it's kind of funny, but I do think there are some things that we can work on here. For one, I feel like he's got 2 left feet, because that outer toe should definitely be on the inside. Maybe that's why he's mad.
She can't walk to get pizza.
He just keeps walking in circles. And I know you said you've been tattooing for about a month and a half, but we've really got to get rid of some of those shaky lines. In the frog, it's a little easier to hide those shaky lines, but when it comes to the outline around that pizza, you can see everywhere you start and stopped. And I do notice a little design flaw in this frog. If you look inside the arms, there's an extra line that goes a bit too far, where you can't really tell which arm is crossed where. If you got rid of that line, it'd be a lot easier to read where those arms are crossed. It also doesn't look like you've got the greatest technique when it comes to that stipple shading, as it looks kind of messy. And even when we come to that frog's belly, that doesn't even really look like stipple shading. It kind of just looks like you raked it in there. And honestly, I wouldn't have had any shading in that belly anyway, as that is part of the front of the frog where you wouldn't really see any of those shadows. One thing that I think would help out a lot with this little guy is having extra line weights. A nice thick outline around the perimeter of the frog would make those thinner lines that you have on the inside that much more interesting. I also think you could have used that same thick outline around that thought bubble. As thicker lines are usually easier to pull off, I think you'd have a lot less errors. And although I don't think this is a bad tattoo at all for being a month and a half into your apprenticeship, I do think you could afford to take a step back and work on solid lines and solid color. Really work out those foundations before applying anything like stipple shading or pulling those extremely long lines. But again, I do think this is a really fun tattoo, and I hope that some of these tips can help you along your way. Thank you so much for sending that in and allowing me to take a peek. All right, the next one is from Chris Alta out of Fullerton, California. And Chris, you sent over this Rugrats tattoo, and you didn't mention how far along you are into your apprenticeship, but my guess would be you're pretty close to the end, because this thing is pretty damn solid. There's only a few things that I want to bring up and discuss. The first thing is right where my eyes get dragged to, and that's that thick ass upper lip line on the bottom of Tommy's lip. I don't know if some lines started to get away from you, so you beefed up that area, but it just doesn't match anywhere else in the tattoo. So it really drags my eyes to that area in particular. I do notice a thicker outline around Chucky's head, but it tapers off nicely and it's not as bulbous as that outline around Tommy's lip. Now, I know Rugrats pretty well, so I'm pretty familiar with the references. So I really wish that Tommy's shirt was more of a baby blue, and that way it would help stand out against those spikes on Reptar's back. Gotta be the Reptar, Reptar, Reptar. Now, another thing that slightly bugs me is that background that you have. Although I do love that purple, I wish there was some other sort of shape to it that contained the piece as a whole. It just looks more like an afterthought or like it was just thrown in there. Other than Tommy's shirt, I do feel like the color choices that you used work really well together. They have some really nice contrast, especially when we look at the colors inside of Reptar. And it's clear you know how to saturate. Even a little blending of reds inside of their mouths give it some really nice depth. Well, wait a minute. It does look like Tommy has a rather large pinky toe. But maybe he stubbed it. He is a baby after all. Messing up toes seems like a reoccurring theme with today's apprentice tattoos. Come on guys, get your shit together. Overall, this is a great tattoo. I think you'd be able to see this thing from across the room. There are just a couple details that I was kinda nitpicking, but I do think it would help out in your future work. So thank you so much, Chris, for sending that in. Apprentices, let me ask you a question. Are you searching for the perfect tattoo aftercare product? Why don't you give Mad Rabbit a try? They've got just about everything you need to take care of your tattoo from beginning to end. And if you head on over to madrabbit.com and use code PONY20, you'll get 20% off of your entire order. All right, let's get back to it. All right, this next tattoo coming at you is from Andy Fox. And Andy, you mentioned that this is the third tattoo you've ever done, and it kind of shows. Not so good. One thing that caught my attention that you said in the email was that you used the 27 bug pin mag. That's not really something I would be using for this tattoo in particular. And honestly, as an apprentice, that's something I would keep out of your toolbox for the time being. Those size needles are meant for large tattoos and big back pieces. I think the biggest needle you should have used on this tattoo is probably a 13 mag. There's no reason you should have gone at this thing with a bulldozer. I think a shovel would have sufficed. You really have to pick the right tool for the job. When it comes to the saturation of this thing, you can really tell that you don't have control over that large mag, because there's lots of holidays and overworking in such a small tattoo. That shouldn't be happening. When we look at the yellow on the edges, you really have no consistency. And trust me, you would have had a lot more precision with that smaller mag. When we look to this front flower, all that unintended texture make this thing kind of look like a rotting orange peel. When we look down at this bottom petal, you can clearly tell it's overworked, so my guess would be that that's going to have a tough time healing. I just can't get over the fact that you used the 27 Magnum on this thing. If I were your mentor, I probably would have slapped that out of your hands. Unless, of course, it was your mentor that told you to use that. Then shame on him or her. Now, aside from saturation, let's talk about those outlines, because even if you had solid saturation, those things would still look like a battered orange. And we haven't even gotten to the greenery. Ryan, hold my beer. None of these are consistent. They all look completely different. They don't have a similar structure. You've got a black outline for the stem in one, while the other two are filled in green. This is what makes me think you rushed through this thing, because even when we look at that top vine in that little middle section, that doesn't look anything like the rest of them. I don't know what you were thinking. It's a head scratcher. You really need to work on those basic skills, because the combination of those outlines with that saturation, it just really feels like you're trying to speed through this thing. And I think you're pretty fortunate that your client says she's pretty happy with it. Or maybe she's just trying not to be a...
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
I know this may seem a bit harsh, but you really need to get back to the drawing board and make sure that your designs are structurally sound. Because if this is what your design looked like, then you're really instilling these bad habits from the start. Don't feel bad about taking a step back, practicing the basics, and really taking your time. Because it's only a matter of time before you put something like this on somebody and they're gonna get pissed off. So good luck, Andy. Remember to take your time, send me some stuff in the future, and hopefully we see some improvements. All right, this next tattoo sent over is from Emm out of Ontario, Canada. And Emm, you mentioned that this is your first tattoo and you did it on yourself. You also mentioned that this tattoo took 6.5 hours, which is kind of crazy, but again, there really is no time limit on how long something should take, especially when you're new to this medium. Again, it's nice to see that you did this tattoo on yourself in a shop setting, so if you did need any sort of guidance, hopefully somebody was there to help you out. I think this design choice is great for a new apprentice because it has all the right elements for you to practice. You've got simple line work, basic shades, and just a handful of places for you to throw in that color. And although this isn't perfect and some things do need worked on, if my apprentice came to me and showed this to me as their their first tattoo, I would be wildly impressed. The feeling can be rather shocking to hit skin for the first time with the machine in your hand, and most of the time a lot of apprentices end up with at least a few squiggles for their first lines. So the fact that you were able to minimize that to just a couple locations is pretty great. And I imagine you had your mentor watching over you, kind of guiding you through this, especially when it comes to that green coming from the eyes. The way that you shaded that is something you'd really only know if you've been tattooing for some time. You see those little rake marks coming up from the eye rather than just pushing that magnum around the eye. That's not an advanced technique by any means, but that's not usually something that you'd see a newer tattooer do. The red shading does look a little weird, and I'm not sure if it's because it makes it look like a chimpanzee face, but now I can't unsee it. Even those blue teardrops are pretty consistent, other than that one at the bottom left being a little crooked. That's really nothing I would be mad about. So continue to work on designs like this, and remember, speed will come with time, so don't worry about rushing yourself. I think you are right where you need to be, and I appreciate you so much for sending that in. All right, everybody, now it's time for me to pick my favorite tattoo of the episode, and that tattoo was sent in by Ashleigh with this beautiful sparrow tattoo. Although I was a little weirded out by those gopher toes, I think the rest of this tattoo is absolutely on point. The solid lines, the soft shading, and the understanding of leaving some areas skin tone to show contrast really show me signs that you already know what you're doing. Especially at just 5 months in, it's pretty incredible to see how much you understand about applying realism. So Ashleigh, once again, great tattoo. Thank you so much for sending that in, and congratulations on being this week's winner. So for our featured artist of the week, I like to pick somebody who reflects on some of the things that we talked about. And when it comes to apprentice work, some of the most important things are solid lines, clean saturation, and not overly complicating your designs. So to inspire you guys and give you some goals to work toward, I'd love to introduce to you none other than LETTIE LYNCH, aka Sweaty Bones, out of Reno, Nevada. LETTIE's work is the epitome of what every good tattooer should strive for. It feels like I could browse through her work and never find a bad line. And you have no idea how impressive that actually is. Her designs are classic, but she manages to throw her own spin on things, with solid color and her own flair. The crazy thing is she's only been tattooing for a bit over 3 years, and that just goes to show you that you don't need to be in the game that long. As long as you dedicate yourself to the craft, don't cut corners, you can succeed. So do me a favor, head on over to her page, give her a follow, get inspired, and let her know I sent you. Once again, I want to thank everyone for sending in their tattoos, and remember, if you'd like to see your tattoos critiqued here, you can do so by sending them to ponycritiques@gmail.com. Make sure to subscribe while you're here, and as always, I will see you cats next week.